Hi, Michael. It's Grandma. And we're going to make popovers, and we're going to make them together. And it's going to be just you and I, okay? Mama can't help. I want you to do this by yourself. Now, I am going to post this on YouTube. So I'm going to tell anybody who's watching this that I am doing this with my grandson, Michael. I'm in San Diego. He's in Texas. So we're 2,000 miles apart. But he loves to cook, and we used to cook together all the time. So this is how we are going to cook together now. Michael is going to cooking class. He's enrolled in a school, and he loves it. He goes once a week and is learning how to make wonderful things. So this is going to be in addition to what he's learning at school. But I want you to know, you YouTube watchers, to know that this is really directed to Michael, who's 10 years old. So if you have any younger children in the house, let them watch this as well, because they will love the outcome of this product. So, Michael, here we go. Okay, so Michael, the first thing we're going to start out with is a term that is French, and you can take it back to your cooking school, and your teacher, your instructor, is going to be impressed. It's called mise en place. Mise en place. Say that. Mise en place. It's a French word, and it means have everything ready before you start. And it's a good rule to get into, because you do your chopping and your dicing and your peeling and get all your equipment out, then you're very organized. So we're going to start out with your equipment. This is what you need. You're going to need 2 bowls, one larger, one a little bit smaller. You need a spatula. You need a whisk. You need 1 teaspoon measuring spoon, 1 tablespoon measuring spoon, and 1 measuring cup. Now, I wrote this out for you. Look at this. So what I want you to do now is just pause this until you get everything together, and then we're going to the next step. All right, now you've got everything together. Make sure you have it all spread out so you know right where it is. Now we're going to do a mise en place for our ingredients. We have flour, salt, eggs, milk, and oil. I wrote them out for you. Flour, salt, eggs, milk, and oil. So you pause me now, get all your ingredients out, and then you can start it again. All right, so you've got all your ingredients out. Now we're going to get started. What we need is 2 cups of flour. So we're going to go in and just kind of, this is what I do. I just kind of shake up my flour a little bit like that, get a little bit of air in it, bring it out, and you know that we have to level it off. So that's 1 cup. 2 cups. And then we need 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, when you read a recipe, I know you know this, but maybe another 10-year-old is trying to do this with us too. When you see a T and it's a small t, that means teaspoon. If it's a capital T, that means tablespoon. So this is a small t, so we need 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to put that right into the flour. Pick up your whisk and mix it up, because you want to be sure that the flour is, that the salt is all the way through the flour, that you don't have just a clump of salt in one place. Now it's time for our eggs. So you're going to put the eggs in a small bowl, and we need 6 of them. I did not think that when you moved to Texas, that we would be able to continue to cook together. I'm really glad. Now, for you other people that are watching my grandson and I make popovers, Mama in Texas is taking some pictures of him doing this. And I have very, very few skills when it comes to inserting stuff into a video or understanding how to do it. So she's gonna send me the pictures, and I am hoping that I will be able to insert the pictures of Michael at different stages and definitely at the finished end. But don't hold your breath, okay? Now take your whisk, you have your 6 eggs in there. Take your whisk, and you want to break those yolks up, just like that. You want to whip them up really good. And it's kind of better when you're starting out to use a bigger bowl than I'm using, because it's easier for you to whip them. So make sure you get a bigger bowl, not such a small one. Once you have them all whipped, you want those yolks all broken up. Then what we're going to do is pour them right into our flour, just like that. You're going to want to switch to your spatula here, because it's too hard to try to do this with your whisk. And Michael, you know how to do this, because I know that you made pasta from scratch. And basically you're doing the same thing here. You're just incorporating those eggs into the flour mixture. Okay, you want to make sure they're all mixed in really, really good. Get all that flour that's on the bottom. You see, I'm scraping it all up. Get it off the sides, just like that. Now we need 2 cups of milk. I'm going to start out with 1. And I'm going to mix that in with my spatula. And I know Grandma Denise has some pretty large bowls, so I know you'll be able to find bowls that are going to work really well in your kitchen. Okay, now do you see how liquidy this is becoming? Still real lumpy, real liquidy, but now I can switch over to a whisk. I'm going to put in 1 more cup of milk. Just like that. And you want to mix that really good. You want to be sure all of that flour is off the sides and off the bottom. Now, the next ingredient is a really important ingredient, honey. It is. You've got to be sure that you have oil. And I'm using a vegetable oil. You can use a canola. Don't use an olive oil, but you can use a regular vegetable oil. You're going to need 6 tablespoons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to show you what I did that was really, really wrong, and you should never do it this way. I was pouring this right over my batter. Now, what do you think would have happened if this would have slipped out of my hand and fell in there? I would have ruined my batter. So you don't ever measure over your bowl. You measure over something else, 6, 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 , 6 okay? Much better to be safe than sorry. Now, look at this, because your oil is all sitting on the top. So you want to get that oil mixed into your batter real well. I should have told everybody else, because I know I told Michael, but this is a batter that needs to refrigerate for at least, I'm not going to say at least. Refrigerate it for 24 hours. Could you do it in less time? Probably so, 2 or 3 hours. But I know when we do it this way, the popovers are that big. If you do them less than that, I'm not really sure. So plan ahead and do this mixed well. All right, now another good reason for having all your ingredients out is as you use them, move them away. Use it, move them away. So now you see nothing is in front, everything is in here. Now, even as much as I cook, and you know I cook a lot. One day I had everything ready, and then Chuck, who was filming me, said, "Don't you need that vanilla?" And the vanilla had gotten stuck behind something. I totally missed it. But had it been out here in front, I would have seen it. Now what you're going to do is get some plastic wrap, and you're going to cover the bowl really tightly. Really tightly. You want it to really, really be on there really firm, because you don't want any air in there. There. And how do you know that's really firm? Come here and let him see this. You know it's firm? You can do that. Okay? All right, sweetheart. It's going to go into the refrigerator now, and it's going to be there for 24 hours. So tomorrow at about the same time, I'm going to come back and we're going to go into the next step of popovers. Michael, Grandma loves you so much, and I'm so happy that we can do this together. All right, sweetheart, I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Well, good morning, Michael. I hope you had a good night's rest. I hope you're ready to finish our popovers, and I know I am. So the very first thing you have to do, honey, is you have to get your oven ready. So go to your oven, preheat it to 375 degrees, and we're going to let it get very, very hot. While it's getting hot, we're going to put our muffin and our popover pans in. Now, Michael, I know you have a popover pan because Grandma bought it for you. Now, for anyone else, if you're watching the video and you want to make it and you don't have a popover pan, you can use a muffin pan. I don't think it's going to get as high as it will in the popover pan, but it's still going to be delicious. So I put this on a cookie sheet because it's going to be easier to get it in and out of the oven when it's really hot. So for now, I'm going to probably let it heat up for about 20 minutes because I want this really hot. So here goes, 375 degrees, and I will be back in a little bit.
Okay.
So while we're waiting for our pans to get scorching hot, I took the batter out of the refrigerator, and what we want to do is just mix it up, just like that. It'll separate a little bit in the refrigerator, that's not a problem, but you do want to have it combined. So just while we're waiting, just do that. All right, so give me a couple minutes and then we'll move on.
Michael?
Okay, Michael. I let that pan sit in that oven at 375 degrees for 30 minutes. I want it to be really hot all the way through. This is where I want you to be very, very careful. You could get burned very badly with this. I have got my mitts on, and I have got something here to protect my counter. So put something down, a wire rack or towels or something down to protect Grandma Denise's counter, okay? So now come over here and I'm going to show you how easy it is to take this out when you have it on a cookie sheet. See? When you have it on a cookie sheet, super easy. Now you always want to right away close your door. Don't leave the door open because you lose a lot of heat really quickly. Now I have our batter. I have mixed it up. And this again, Michael, is where I want you to be very, very, very careful. Now this part is very important. Very, very important. You're going to go ahead and get whatever kind of spray you have, and you're going to spray really well on the edge and inside of each cup. Now, if you have a tool like this, and Michael, I know you do, I know Mama has one, we're going to use this. But if somebody else is watching this and you don't have one of these, all you want to do is just ladle like this to where it's almost to the top. Now, Michael, Mama can help you on this part, because sometimes it's just a little hard to pour it in. And if Mama can help you with that, that's okay. And so if you have this, it's so easy to just do it this way. You want to get it almost to the top. Whoa, come on. This one's a little bit light. Okay, once again, very carefully, go over and open up your oven door. Pick it up by the cookie sheet and carefully bring it to the oven. Shut the door right away, Michael. And it's going to cook for 55 minutes. Now this is important, honey. Do not open the door. Do not open the door for 55 minutes, because they're going to be rising. And if we've done them really well, which I hope we have, they're going to be like this. But if you open the door too soon, you can collapse them, okay? So 55 minutes, we will come back, and in the meantime, maybe what we can do is look through the oven door. That we can do, okay? I'll turn the light on and we will do that. So I'll see you back in 55 minutes. Well, Michael, it's 55 minutes, so I'm gonna take mine out and show you what we have. And I think you're ready to take yours out too, but I'd be very careful, honey, because they're hot, okay? So be careful with your pan. Be sure you have your mitts. Now, I'm going to have Chuck get down right here so we can look right in the very first time to see what they look like. Oh my goodness. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Oh.
My goodness.
And you know what I love about these is that they're all different. There's never two that are exactly the same. So what we want to do now is take a small knife, and you want to cut just a little air hole in them. Let me see. Actually, it might be easier if we take it out first. Because, Michael, because we sprayed it with the spray before we put them in the oven, they're going to be super easy to take out. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't that gorgeous? Now, I do want to give it a little bit of a cut, just like that. You see what we're doing there? We're releasing the steam. my gosh, look at this. Just look at them. Okay, and cut wherever you want, just a little bit. Just let all that steam come out. See how easy they come out of the pan? But I'm also going to show you, because I think this one stuck a little bit. So if yours sticks a little bit, well, that one's for the cook. These are perfect. They're so beautiful. There. Now this one stuck a little bit. I can feel it. So rather than pull the top off, again, be careful with your pan, honey. It's really hot. Just take your knife and just kind of go in there. Kind of see where it might have gotten stuck. All right, sometimes you just have to encourage them a little bit. Just magnificent. Just beautiful, beautiful. All right. Now then, we're gonna let them cool down just a couple of minutes, and we're gonna have a taste. Now, if you were here with me, you would be able to have some of this butter that I made. This is a honey orange butter, and I think Mathew might be able to make this, and then you guys can have it. So I'm gonna let that cool down for a minute, but honey, listen. When you make these and you take them to school, I think you're going to be very excited to show it to your instructor. But what's really important is when you have learned to do something like this, you have learned a skill. Most people I know, maybe with the exception of a couple of women I know, nobody has made popovers. And when they made them, they didn't come out like this. So I hope Mama took pictures of you along the way. For those of you that are watching, Michael and I do this together. I am going to leave the ingredients below. And if you have children that are interested in cooking like my grandsons are, I think it's wonderful. And if you have children that you think are too young, they're never too young. My 3 grandchildren started learning to cook sitting on my counter when they were 2 years old, making whipped cream. The very first thing they made was whipped cream because it was instant gratification, absolutely delicious, and they felt like they made the whole thing. So develop a love of this with your children as well. Michael, you and I have had so much fun in the kitchen. We've made pizzas, we've made cookies, we've made cakes, we've made so many things. So all of those are beautiful memories that I have with you. Now I think it's time to try one of these. And the one I broke open is the one I'm going to try. Okay? The inside is perfectly cooked and it looks just like a cream puff inside. I'll put a little bit of the honey orange butter. Magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Your brothers are going to like these. They are. And everybody in your house is going to be shocked that you knew how to make them. So with that, honey, I'm going to say goodbye. I hope Mama sends pictures, and I hope I can figure out how to get your pictures into my video. But I love you with all my heart. I love you. Bye. Oh, the rest of you, subscribe. Ingredients below. Come back. Bye. Oh, good. Hi, Matthew. Now this is the bonus part. Remember when we used to come out here to this orange tree? Now take a look at all of these beautiful oranges. Remember how we used to come and pick one? I will pick one right now. How about this one? We used to go in the house, slice them, and then you would put magic on them and eat them. Do you remember? I do. So we're going to go in the house now and we're going to create more magic because you're going to make an orange honey butter to put on top of your brother's popovers. So let's go in. I'm going to show you how to do it. Come on. So I picked 2 oranges just because I want to eat one. So the very first thing we're going to do is we have to zest this. We only need 1 teaspoon, which is the small T, 1 teaspoon of lemon zest. Now Mama has a zester that you can use. I know she has because I've seen it. I'm using this one. And what we know to do is to only take the orange part. Do not take the white. The white is the pith and it's very bitter, so you don't want that. So we're just going to get ourselves some orange zest. I think I'm going to put more than a teaspoon in. I'm going to go maybe a teaspoon and a half. The recipe calls for a teaspoon, so it's up to you. But I love the taste of the orange in there. Okay, that's good. That's a teaspoon, and that's the half. Now, we want 4 tablespoons of butter. Make sure it's soft butter, otherwise life is difficult. There you go. We want 1 teaspoon of heavy cream. And don't pour it over like this, like I showed you guys in the earlier film. Pour away from your bowl and then just drop it in. And then we want 2 tablespoons of honey. And this is a 2 tablespoon measure. Whoa. Whoa. Well, that's not good because you know I don't like sticky. Oh. Okay. And just a pinch of salt. Now you mix it all together, just like this. All you're going to do is just smooth it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Mama to try to take pictures of you the very first time you taste this on a popover, because I think you're going to love it. All right, that's it. So for all of you, I'll leave the ingredients below. To my 2 grandsons that are making this, I hope you love it, because I'll tell you, I have enjoyed doing this video with you, and I want pictures of how good your stuff turned out. All right, boys, I love you, and if this works, we can continue to cook together, even though we're 2,000 miles apart. For the rest of you out there, hit subscribe, ingredients below, hit the little bell so you know when we videotape again. Thank you. Bye. Bye, boys. Love you so much. Bye.